Whoa, I don't know how much light to put on me. Welcome. Kind of dark. It's kind of dark in here. It's been a while since I've done a heart to heart. I've lost my lighting. I don't know if I should turn off the one in the back. Let me know if it's bothering you. Sometimes it bothers people when there's a bright light in the background. I have lights in the front. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. Probably not because I don't have my mic plugged in, do I? No, I do. There it is. All right, so I think we're live. Welcome into a heart to heart. This is just a chat video. This is just one that I do once in a while, usually once a month, but it's been a while for sure. I sure hope the chat is allowed to come in. All right, there it is. There's the beautiful chat. Thank you so much for coming in. Oh my goodness. Can you hear me okay? I just realized the mic is working, so let me know if you can hear me. Again, welcome to the channel. This channel is about jewelry and thrifting and all that entails. And in this particular segment of my channel, we do what we call a heart to heart. I've been doing it for about 2 years, I think, and we've talked about everything from, oh my goodness, the getting through the pandemic, losing loved ones, just the whole gamut. It's just what's running through my head in that particular time that I decided to come and do to heart. But tonight is a one that I wanted to discuss because things have really grown exponentially as far as reselling is concerned. And as you know, I do resell my jewelry. I collect jewelry. I collect everything. So I've been reselling for a long, long time. Everything from flea markets. I had my own booth at a flea market for a couple of years. I do what they used to call a swap-a-rama, where you just open your trunk and sell your wares. I think some people call them car boots. I don't know if that's the same thing, but pretty much you just open the trunk of your car. So I've been doing that kind of thing for at least 35 years or so. But when I started YouTube, um, reselling was really not a part of my foray into YouTube. I had actually just wanted to do a thrift haul because I saw someone doing a thrift haul when we were looking for something else. You know how it is with the algorithm and what it feeds you, right? So then I started doing hauls, thrift hauls, and then someone really liked the way I did jewelry. When I brought jewelry from garage sales, they kept commenting about do more jewelry, do more jewelry. And then of course I started doing jewelry bags and jewelry jars. So that kind of took off, and that's what we've been doing. But anyway, let me welcome a few of you in here. Again, this is a live video, so you cannot chat later live with me. You can just leave me a comment, and I really do appreciate every single comment. I try to answer every single one because I think that if you take time to write a comment, I'm going to take time to answer it. And I still am not at the point where I would be, spending hours and hours upon hours answering a simple I like your channel, and I'll just, go right back with thank you for watching or whatever question you may have. So I do appreciate your comments all the time. Let me say hi to some people though, because I'm really happy to see a lot of new subscribers here. And if you're new, let me know. I don't know if you're going to enjoy this kind of video. It's not the most popular one, but it's one I definitely enjoy doing. So I do see June here and Becky. How are you, Becky? Elena or Helena? Let me know if I'm pronouncing that right. I always have trouble with that H for some reason. I think it should be silent, but let me know if it is not. And Kay Anderson is here as well as Tiggy. Hi, Tiggy. I saw you earlier at the Goodwill, didn't I? Amanda G from Indiana. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much. So, like I was saying, reselling was something I stumbled upon here on YouTube, but I had always done it. I have always enjoyed it. Yeah, this lighting is weird. Let me get it out of my face. I have always enjoyed it. And then reselling jewelry is something I've never really done directly here. I don't hold any auctions or anything here on YouTube. I've always wanted to just do a entertainment channel for you, information, fun hauls, and that kind of thing. So we do the selling over on Facebook, but people would always inquire as well. Can you sell me this? Is this available? Did you consider selling, this ring that you pulled out of a jar? And usually I'll ask them to email me, and my information is always in my description boxes. And then we can do a PayPal transaction that way. All right. So that's how that has happened. And I do my auctions over on Facebook every Saturday. So, but now there's tons and tons and tons of people selling everything from, Hot Wheels toys to antique jewelry and so forth. How's everyone doing tonight? I hope y'all are doing well. How's the weather where you are? Let me know where you do live. We're in Texas. It's getting warm already. Very warm, as a matter of fact. I think we even hit the 90s sometime this week. So it's been strange to go pretty much already from spring to summer, but now we'll get a little bit more spring weather later and see. We always get like 2 springs here in Texas. The flowers just don't know what to do. All right. Is everything still okay with the sound? I hope so. So anyway, so the title of the video is Ethics, Why Are You So Shady? And it's because there's different aspects of selling, not just here. I'm talking everywhere, and I'm talking about our moral compass, basically. What is our selective outrage, so to speak, on certain things? Do we think that we can get away with this, but we can't get away with that? Or maybe not even get away with it, but if we find that something happens, do we own up to it? All right. You're in England, you have snow right now. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, it's snowing in England. Hi, Gigi. I'm glad you made it. So I've been buying here for a long time. I do some moderating for a seller here on YouTube as well. She does a Sunday auction, or actually more like a buy it now. I've been moderating for her as well. That means I just take care of the chat and kind of call who's winning when they're winning, and boot out the trolls if there happen to be any. We don't see that many trolls anymore, but we used to see a lot of them. But other than that, I do frequent a lot of auctions here. I do buy from a lot of people. I've bought jewelry as well as, grab boxes for what they call a reseller box, where you can get everything from tchotchke to glassware to some sunglasses and, a statue of Mary or something. You just never know what's going to come in those boxes. And that's just kind of a little starter kit for people who like to resell and who resell for a living. So my first position that I want to bring out there, my first contention is, how far do you go with customer service? Do you believe in it? Do you think it's important? I sell on eBay, and I do think customer service is very important. And by the way, let me just get eBay out of the way. A lot of people ask me about eBay and what my store name is, and I have not shared that as of late. I used to share it. It's funny, when I first got on here and started following a lot of resellers, and I would see wonderful things that they had. And I asked one time, wonderful woman, what's your eBay store? I'd love to go see, what you sell. And she said, listen, I would love for you to buy from me, but I don't sell indirectly, and I don't give my information because, one, I can get trolled. Two, they can ask questions off the platform, or to do things that have to do with YouTube or have to do with Posh or whatnot, and they're asking it on eBay. And that has been flagged for me. And for that reason, I just don't like to share it. I figure if I show you something and I tell you I bought it on eBay or sold it on eBay, if you really want to see it, you can go through the trouble of seeing it. I would really much rather sell you something at my Facebook auction, where you won't have to pay a little bit of a markup on it, because I have to make up for the eBay fees. eBay slices 30% right off the top once you get through with, the fees for paying and all of that. So basically, that's really why I don't do it. And I hate to keep telling people, I don't share my eBay store. I used to put the link and everything. I just didn't feel that it was beneficial to me in any way, shape, or form. I really never sold anything to anyone there from my from my channel. The only person I ever actually met through my Posh was another lady here. Her name is a la mode by Adrian, and she's wonderful. And she purchased something from me on Posh, and I accidentally sent her, talk about ethics, I accidentally sent her when I sent her the bracelet, tend to reuse the bags when I'm buying. So I had bought some gold jewelry from another wonderful reseller here, and I had accidentally left a gold bracelet in that same envelope that I sent to Adrian. I had no idea who Adrian was. That's how we met, actually. And I packaged what I had sold her. Don't remember what it was. I think it was a bracelet of costume jewelry, really nice one though. And when she emailed me back and she said, "Oh, I thought," because on Posh, a lot of people give gifts. They're kind of considered customer service to, send some lip gloss or send an extra jewelry or something. She thought it was a gift, but she was, nice enough to contact me and said, I thought it was a gift, but then I saw that it was gold, so I'm gonna send it back to you. She insisted on not even charging me postage to send it back to me. So, of course, I fell in love with her after that, and she that's when she told me, "I watch you on YouTube, and I also have a channel." And then so we became, fast friends that way. But talk about ethics, right? She didn't have to send me that. Some people may not have sent it back, but that's just how it goes, where I've met some people that know me from YouTube and some people that don't, through my eBay store. But I don't share it for that reason, because I have been trolled. I have been flagged by eBay. So for that reason, I don't. But customer service, back on eBay. Um, Recently, I purchased a ring. I was not familiar with this particular name. It's not a butler, I think is the name. And it's not like, Yerman or something. In my opinion, it's not. When I got the ring, it was a little smaller it was a little bit off on the size. And I know mandrels can be different too. You can't see me. Oh, can everybody else see me? Let me get under the candle. I have a candle right here. Okay, maybe if you brighten it up, let me brighten mine up too. Yeah, I always dull mine when I'm doing some keyboard warrior. No, late night buying on eBay. The bright screen does, hurt your eyes, so I dim it really low, and then sometimes I can't see myself. Anyway, so I bought this item. I'm gonna do a comparison, okay, of two people that could have handled things so much differently from each other. And one always wins, the customer service um, ideal. So in her listing, it was a beautiful ring. Oh my gosh, it was the most beautiful moonstone I'd ever seen. But the rest of it and the design of it was shoddy to me. If it's a thin piece of sterling, if it doesn't feel chunky and the band is nice, even though I think I paid $50 for it, I wasn't happy with it. And she had on her listing accepts returns. Okay, so I emailed back, and maybe I put too much information. That was my mistake. I should have attenuated it a little bit to the point where I should have just said, I want to return. I didn't like it. That's what I should have said. But instead, I said, I don't like it. I think it's a little shoddy, and the size is a little off. Well, she insulted me and said, "Well, it's not shoddy." Okay. And then, she said, "I'm gonna accept it." She actually said, "I'm gonna accept your return, but, I've never heard anybody say it's shoddy or whatever." Well, it was, and in my opinion, it was. So anyway, when she gets it, I packaged it exactly as she had sent it to me. I have always been careful about shipping. I put things in boxes. You won't see my stuff go into an envelope unless if I happen to run out of boxes, it's gonna be covered in bubble and, filler and everything, because I know jewelry can get damaged. Well, anyway, she got it and she wrote back to me. She said, "Did you have to package it without the bubble wrap at the top?" It had like a little piece of bubble wrap, on in the box, like it was a little tiny box, and then the ring sat there. And I guess I forgot to put the thing. Well, she just went off like totally insulted, and oh no. And then she says, "It's unsellable now. It cannot be sold. It's scratched." And and then she left, horrible feedback at my store and whatnot about it. And I was like, wow, this is incredible for someone to go to that extent, and it was because I said it. I know it was because I insulted, as if she made it herself. Why do people take everything so personal? I know that was the point of it, that she just wanted to retaliate. So she didn't return the thing. She took forever. I had to go through eBay and have eBay step in after she had said, I'll return it, no problem. But she came up with some cockamamie story about it being unsellable. And of course, I wrote back and I said, Moonstone is like number 6 on the most. It's a hard stone. If it wasn't a hard stone, it would not be in a ring. That's why many things are cabochons and many things are necklaces and not rings, because they won't sustain it. But to tell me that it got tossed around in a box because I forgot to put a 1-inch piece of bubble wrap on top of the ring, and then now you're gonna drag your feet over the thing. So I think that's unethical. I think that's unnecessary. And like I told her, you absolutely reek of newbie. I'm sorry, you just do. That's not something that someone who's been in this business would do. I mean, I've started small, right? Everybody starts at eBay somewhere. And I used to take things personal, and I know, when somebody would want to return something and then they would say, oh, it was the wrong color, it wasn't rust, it was red, and so forth. And I would sit there and argue with it. But you learn in the end that it's not worth the headache. Just say yes, I'll take it back. Hi, Miss Kathleen. Hi, Kim's Joy of Vintage. Just okay, send it back. It's not worth the headache. Sometimes it's not even worth sending it back. I've sold things like a pair of shoes, and back in those days you had to pay for the shipping, and that's why they tell you it's not as described, so that they don't have to pay for the shipping. And then you learn, hey, keep the shoes. I don't care. Throw them in the trash. Give them to Goodwill. I don't want to have to pay you another $8 to ship it to me, and so forth. But anyway, so then on the opposite of that spectrum, polar opposite, I've been collecting Bakelite, only bangles though. I love them, and I'm still trying to get some really wide black ones. I got one from a lady here, Melanie Vintage Style. She just started. Go support her if you can. She's really loves jewelry, and she was selling this the other night, and I love it. One Robert found. You saw it in my short video, and then the other one I got on eBay. So anyway, I was shopping on Mercari. Mercari's a little tricky, y'all. If y'all sell on there, I mean, they made it a little bit more streamlined when you have to return something and you're not happy with it, because seller doesn't get paid until the customer is happy and approves it. But there's so many little buttons you have to click. So anyway, I bought another Bakelite in red, and it was beautiful. Supposedly a Bakelite. Tested it. It was negative. Could not return it. I mean, I could not accept it. So I wrote to the customer. And she said, oh, I'm so sorry. And this and the other, I didn't realize. I really thought it was. Apparently, she hadn't tested it. She's probably a new seller herself. Maybe someone told her it was Bakelite. It was beautiful and it looked like Bakelite, but it was not testing. So then she says, please return it. Of course, so forth. Well, what happened there, they ask you for pictures, proof that you got the thing, proof of the postage that you sent, and so forth. And sent all that. And then I guess within a day or two, they replied to me. I sent more pictures. And then somehow or another, I think I missed a day, and it was the deadline. It was the deadline, and they closed the case. So I was stuck with this bracelet. And then she wrote to me in the messages and said, oh, I'm so sorry about the bracelet. I told you I would return it, and I haven't heard anything. And I was like, they don't want to give my money back, so forth. And she goes, what can I do about it? Can I send you? She really was so upset that I was not happy. And I thought to myself, what a juxtaposition from the person who had to accuse me of damaging her ring, to this person who went out of her way to try to please me because she knew that it wasn't what it was listed at. So that's just one point of ethics that I think is really important. And it just goes to show how there's a real difference in people out there who are selling. There is a real difference. It doesn't matter if you've been selling a long time. If you just started, this girl just started. She could have been like, oh my gosh, my first sale. And, I'm just going to fight it. It is Bakelite. And, I've been through that. Or even, especially on Mercari. Oh my gosh. Mercari is very, very tough for that reason. Another times you're seeing 925 stamped on everything out of India and China. We know we have to test it. But okay, so I test this stuff. Stuff is going all around the internet. You'll see it all the time. You'll see it on Posh. You'll see it on eBay. I even saw it in an antique store. Antique store. Everybody thinks, oh, it's so prestigious. Antique store in Chicago. I did some video footage on it. The entire cabinet were these made in India jewelry, stamp 925, and you don't even have to pick it up. All you got to do is glance at it and see that it's not 925. Now, this picture was a little far. I kind of thought it might not be. Well, it came, took a picture of it to send it back. Of course, I tested it, not 925. The person that was selling, oh, it is 925. You're crazy. I've been selling jewelry. Da, da, da. I mean, you just have to watch what you're doing out there, and do your due diligence, of course. As soon as you get it in there, test it, especially on sites like Macari. That I haven't had any trouble with Whatnot. I just purchased something from someone, and I also kind of did a little test run with that one because I really wanted to know their customer service. So this guy was selling, he had all kinds of stuff. Some of it I could tell was that cheap Indian stuff that's made, like in 10 minutes. I could see it from a mile away, but some of it looked vintage and native. So I bought a little bit of native, and it was fabulous. It turned out to be what I thought it was, but I wanted to test run it. So I don't know how Whatnot works, but with Macari, you really have to jump over hoops to tell them that it wasn't as described. You have to take pictures. You have to send the picture of the package and so forth. So that's a lot of trouble to go through, especially when you have a seller pushing back. But like I said, this young girl was just so adamant about trying to please me. And I wish I could send you something in return. I wish I could send you them. And then Macari steps in, no private messages. No, like they had like a little red flag go up because the case had been closed. So that's what I'm saying also about eBay. The reason I don't share my eBay store is because I would get private messages, or I would get worse than that. I would get, when I first started, I had a Facebook page, and they used to call it a fan page. And I did it to try to grow my YouTube channel and to, talk about reselling and so forth. Well, someone saw me buy an amazing Japanese Hello Kitty with all Japanese writing, and it was really collectible. And I bought it for a quarter or a dime at a church garage sale. The big church sales. Well, I was so happy to list it for $80 on eBay. Someone was, I mean, I don't even think I had 1,000 subscribers, and someone literally went on my Facebook page and wrote to all my Facebook followers. And at that time, I had a lot of family following me, and told me, do you know that Thelma is money hungry, grubby, da 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 da. She bought this thing for a dime. She's selling it for $80. I think I listed it for $80. I yanked it off of eBay. I was just like so freaked out. I was new to the game, and I just thought that was such a violation. But that's another ethical question. Okay, who has the right to tell you, in my opinion, who has the right to tell you what the value of something is, especially something as collectible as a Hello Kitty? Has no intrinsic value. It's made of cotton and thread and, nothing, stuffing. But if someone wants to pay $80 for it, and half the listings on eBay are at 150 or more, and you may have paid a dime for it, now someone's going to call you out and call you grubby and, money grubber and avarice and so forth. It's just, where do you go? Let me read your comments so I can take a breath. You just started watching my channel and you've learned so much. I'm Indigenous as well, and I love when you find good stuff. Well, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. I really do. Did you see my DNA video? It's about 37%. Proudly 37% Indigenous. My coworker said, that's a lot. I was like, okay. He was the math guy. Loving this heart to heart so much. Some people are just horrible, Thelma, but so many wonderful people. Yeah, definitely. Oh, like I said, that little girl on Bakelite. I said she was little because I saw the kind of stuff she was selling. She wasn't a jewelry person. She threw it. It was a beautiful bangle. Still have it. Maybe I resold it. I don't know. But it's more like a Bakelite. And she just wanted to make up for it. And then, okay, Macari steps in. Sorry, you're being too nice to each other. We don't like it. Haters, yeah, absolutely. So that's another thing. And it happens with a lot of things as far as value goes. Not just things like Hello Kitty, but jewelry as well, of course. Like I said, to me, cheap Indian jewelry is not worth anything, especially if it's a fake 925 stamp on there, right? But if someone fell in love with it and they bid it up to $100, maybe you started it at 10, maybe it was worth 10, and they bid it up to $10. So what's next? I say let it go. I say let it go. If you explained everything about it, if you told them it's an Indian piece, only the gemstone is real, the metal is alloy, and please don't say German silver and all that other hyperbole, in my opinion. It's an alloy, not sterling, and they want to pay $100 for it because they love it. Maybe mom had one like it. Maybe that's their favorite color. Maybe they wear an 11 and that's the only one. Who are you to stop it? Of course, that's again my opinion. Let me know yours. Let me read some of your comments though. Hi, Miss Deborah. How are you? Oh my gosh, I bought the most amazing those are my everyday earrings, Deborah. The most amazing 14 karat gold hoop earrings from Miss Deborah there at Timeless Timeless, is it Jewelry? Yes, Timeless Jewels by Deborah. She has auctions here on YouTube as well. And I just love them. I think they're 1.25 or 1.5 inch diameter, but they're beautiful and perfect little closure. So fabulous jewelry there. And you're only doing YouTube right now. Yeah. Well, it's quicker. It's absolutely quicker, but I still, I like to have a lot of income streams. My husband's retired, so we just have his retirement income, and I became a teacher late in life. I've only been teaching about 12 years. So this is definitely something that and I enjoy it. I've always enjoyed the resale game. I've always enjoyed the hunt. And I think a lot of resellers started from just seeing these fantastic items. I've made videos about it, seeing all these wonderful treasures out there. And you want to buy something for someone because let's say they collect stiff bears or something, or they collect Fenton or something, and then oh, it's only $2. I got to go buy this for my best friend, and then your best friend is like, oh, thank you, but didn't get excited as you thought she would, or maybe she's had enough. So you know what? I found my community here on YouTube. People got excited about the hunt and the finds. And then I was still selling on eBay and talking about eBay and so forth. So it was all a wonderful virtuous cycle, as they say in the business world, in the corporate world, a virtuous cycle for sure. So anyway, yes, I love those hoops. I hadn't had gold earrings in so long because I kept losing them. And I vowed never to wear gold earrings again. I'm wearing some really crazy. These are the ones I found in the jar the other day. And it's one of the videos that people have been watching lately, which mostly was earrings. I did sell the other orange ones, but I like these and they're lightweight. Anyway, so I've just been wearing, gold tone and a lot of silver. And then I saw Miss Deborah pull those out and they were a fantastic price. And I knew she, was a reputable seller. You got your cloisonne earrings, Miss Becky? I was on the ball this week. I really mailed out things early. I'm still going to mail out a few more things. But, like everyone else, I only have 24 hours in the day. Sometimes I get here and I'm so exhausted and I'd want to chill out and watch some TV. And then before you know it, I'm like glue on that sofa and or I fall asleep. So thank you for your patience whenever those shipments are more than a few days. Aren't they gorgeous though? I love cloisonne. Let me see what else you guys are saying. Start from the bottom up now. Yes, the 80s ones. Aren't they cute? I think they're very Memphis era. Found you 3 days ago. Oh, thank you so much, Vera. All my new subscribers. I can't believe it. I just am so thrilled that you guys have found the videos and have found them helpful and fun. I'll be doing some more thrift. I actually have so much footage. I just haven't had the time to put it all together. But I am putting one together, and I'm going to do the jewelry haul from the garage sale and another Texas thrift haul. Wonderful jewelry as well. Egyptian revival is your passion. Hey, Miss Tanya, how are you? Tanya's got a channel too, auctions as well. Yeah. Hi, Miss Kathleen. Oh, do I really? I put the bangs, Miss Kathleen. You are so flattering. You're very kind, beyond kind. But I did the bangs because my hair, okay, it's white. It's mostly white, silver, right? Just the bottom's a little salt and pepper in the back, maybe a little salt and pepper. But when I have the lights on me and I have my hair pulled back, it looks like I'm bald because white hair is basically colorless hair. I mean, honestly, that's why it looks like you can see my scalp and I'm balding, but I'm not. It's just the white roots. So I remember years ago, my daughters were in ballet and my daughters have dark hair, but a lot of the girls that were with them were blondes, and all the moms would put blush around here on their hairline, and it was, I guess it was a showbiz trick. So they said it had to darken it a little bit so that they wouldn't look bald under the stage lights. So that's kind of why I put the bangs, but now I'm going to mess with them and mess them up, right? All right. And then I have to flip them back and forth because then they get too Farah, too Farah. So I go back and forth like that. And I cut them myself. A wild night in the bathroom. You know how that is. All right. Let me see. Any thoughts on ethics? I'm only a part-time reseller and have found joy selling inexpensive pieces. I made good money, like 9 for each piece in a 5 pound. Nice. Nice. No one buys my brand names. Thank you, Thelma. You taught me so much. Oh, that's so sweet. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, Tanya. When it arrived broken, that was very unethical. Oh, what did you get, Maria? How about the sellers that sell you jewelry and arrive broken and then they blame you in return? And this person is still active selling in your circle. I was so upset. That's a really good question. Really good concern. And that's something that's hard. It's hard to do, and it's something I've learned too. I actually used to think, oh well, the especially like if you send it to Hawaii or somewhere out of the country and customs gets involved, as the longer that package is in the post office, it's like a baby. It's like it's going to get hurt. It's got to be changed. Something's going to happen to it. So it's really, really important. Like right now, I sold that wonderful, beautiful ring that kyanite ring, and the person that bought it opted for regular shipping, but I thought, you know what, it's really expensive, so I'm going to send it priority so that it won't sit around the post office. I packaged it, of course, with cardboard and everything so it wouldn't get damaged, but anytime something hangs around the post office, it's going to get damaged. And I have come to the conclusion that yes, as a seller, it's not that we're at fault. We're not. Maybe many times we are, because believe me, I have been chintzy with shipping when I first started. But when we're not, when we do the best we can and it still broke, in the end, you have to tell yourself, do I want a happy customer or an unhappy customer? Is this unhappy customer worth me losing all of my business with her? And I have learned to realize that it's not. Go ahead and take the cut, swallow the loss, take the loss, as they say, and refund. And that's what I've learned. This is why I couldn't understand that woman on eBay who had to insult me, had to tell me that I didn't know how to package. That's just awful. That's just not the way to do it. But Maria, I'm so upset that that happened to you. I really am. And I'm at a point where I no longer go chintzy with my packaging. I used to try to, not that I mean, I would still try to get it nice and cushioned, but I thought it could go in a bag wrapped in bubble and whatever, but it was breakable and it really should have been double boxed. And in the end, when you lose something, it doesn't matter if it's a $10 item. Let's say it's a piece of Fenton or something, maybe a bell or whatever. That's not what happened to me, but something else happened. And in the end, it's not that you lost $10 or even $140, whatever it may be. It's that you lost that item and that person wanted that item. And that's what bothers the customer, is that thing is lost, right? Even if they get their money back. And in this case, I guess you didn't get your money back, so that hurts. But in the end, you have to ask yourself, wow, am I going to make my customer unhappy, whether by it arriving broken or not arriving at, not arriving at all, arriving broken and getting your money back, or not getting anything is what I was trying to say. Yeah, that's not cool. Hi, Susie Dragonfly. Hi, Melanie. I was just showing the Bakelite, one of the 3 that I got, and telling a story about one who sold me one that wasn't real Bakelite, and she was nice enough to return it, and another one who just made a big fuss and so forth over stupid. I even told her, I said, my goodness, over a $48 purchase, you've caused me so much stress. Never again. I mean, honestly, never again. I'm going to read that feedback and she had pretty good feedback. I think she only had 1 negative. This is a microphone. Can you hear me? Yes, it is. Yes, it's I don't know, I forgot. Ice something or snowball or something. Let me see who else is here. Always return things on my car, even if they give me a choice. I want people to be happy and come back. Exactly. That's the choice you have to ask yourself. You know, it's just like a lot of people used to question shopping at pawn shops. Because I've been shopping and finding bargains there and amazing jewelry there for years. And they would say, how can you trust them? How do you know? Like it's got a seedy reputation, but it's also licensed. And they're not going to risk selling you a stone that's red as a ruby for $150 for you, to lose their license over. So what they do instead, which is I think an amazing thing to do, is to just call it a red stone. And that's what I mean, unless of course more of the high-end pawn shops, like one of the ones I took you to one time when we went and toured it. It was so fun. That's a luxury pawn shop. So they even do some of their turquoise. They even know what mines it came from. They do some research on it. Or they have authenticity certificates, not just I saw it on Google. So they won't risk it to lose their license over. And I feel like, why would you want to risk your customers? That's why when I do, and many people do, not just me, I'm not special, but one thing I want people to know, when I sell an item, I will take it back. If you find that I said it was onyx and then you see it's actually just, enamel, well, that was probably a mistake, but I'm not going to deceive you over it. It's an honest mistake. We all make them, and I will take it back. There's no all sales final. Now, if you just, buy 5 things and decided, oh, I really need to pay the card this month, I'm going to ask her if she can return the other 5. That's unethical on your part. And that happens here a lot too. I was just emailed the other day about someone who made up a thing about being one of my moderators. I don't even have, but maybe 2 moderators here that I've had forever. And then they were having trouble with her canceling everything, not paying, returning, saying it was broken and so forth. And I was like, no, I can't. I don't even know her that way. I've seen her in chats 10 years ago, and that was the last time. Hey, Miss Adrienne, how are you? I started the show with the story about how you and I met online through Posh. I'm glad you're here. Hope you're doing well. Erica. Hi, Erica. Hi, Gary. You overpack everything. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I used to be the type, oh, I'm going to save 50 cents. I'm going to put in that bag and put bubble wrap, until one day I bought this amazing clown mug, and it was at the flea market for like $1, $2. And I sold it for like 20, and it arrived broke. And the guy was so upset with me, and I don't blame him. And I had put so much bubble wrap and filler, but I put it in the $8 thing instead of, spending another few dollars on a box and flat rate. And of course, flat rate, because like I said, the longer it stays in the post office, it's at risk. It's vulnerable. They've told me themselves at the post office, oh, we play soccer with that. They laugh when they see the little fragile stickers. And I've been going to the same post office for a long time. They're like, oh, another fragile sticker. Like, we can play soccer in the back with it. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, so another thing I was going to talk about with ethics, and let me know whatever you think as well. Contribute, please. You sold jewelry a lot. Lady sent it back and took she took what she liked and returned the rest. Oh gosh, yeah, those are the scammers. Those are lots of scammers for sure on eBay. I've had things arrive broken back too. I mean, a heel broken. I mean, I know they weren't broken. I bought them new, and they just wanted a reason to return them. And like I said, in those, I don't know if it's that easy to just say, "Oh, it arrived broken" anymore on eBay. I think it is. They pretty much always side with the buyer, which is not a bad thing, but that's what happens. So there's definitely scammers out there. They'll do things like that. Oh, thank you, Susie. You're so sweet. Yeah. So, but again, that's the story about the Facebook troll who literally wrote to all of my relatives, and now I'm not friends with anybody. Remember when everybody wanted to be your friend on Facebook and people thought it was like some kind of popularity contest? I had a cousin who was like, well, she didn't say anything, but I was like, oh my gosh, she's got like 2,000 friends on Facebook. Okay, so it started 12 years ago. So everybody whoever friended her, she was their friend. About 3 years ago, I cleaned house. I think I have 50 friends. I don't have former coworkers. I don't have coworkers, none of that. But that's what this person did. She took umbrage to the fact that I found a 10-cent, highly collectible Hello Kitty that was selling for over $100. And I listed mine for $150 or so. No, 80. And told everybody I was a money grubbing. I don't know. I don't know what she said, but pretty much she just thought it was very unethical of me to sell something for its value. I guess she wanted me to sell it for $1.50. What do you think? Yes, yes, it's always the bangs. I'm just not seeing some of the old comments here. Thank you again, everyone who's here. Please give it a thumbs up if you can. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Take your time tonight and just click that little subscribe button somewhere. All right, let me go back bottom up. If I missed your comment, I'm sorry. It's not that I didn't want to address it. It's just that I'm trying to get through and I do keep notes. Some people don't even like this. Oh, I like to go free. I'm not one of those YouTubers that takes bullet points. People criticize everything, don't they? Everything. I don't want to lose my train of thought here. That's why I take little notes. I stole one of these from school where the kids do their math, and I take my little bullet points. So when I'm talking to you, I can stay on track because God knows I lose my train of thought fast. Hi, Miss Kirsten. Remember, I sold over $300 to one person on eBay. Then they sent eBay pictures of items broken. Oh my gosh. And wanted her money back. She had literally broken items. So exactly. Oh, there's horror stories. There was another guy on here. Was it Golden Finger Picker and his wife, the Florida Picking Queen? They were awesome. They haven't done videos in a while, but they had he used to really be a specialist in electronics. And he would sell things and then they would return them with all the components taken out, gutted. And I mean, it's crazy what people try to get away with. I think I saw Doug in here. Hi, Doug. How are you? Sandy says, this is not about jewelry, but if you don't mind, what beauty treatment do you, because you look fabulous, including your hair. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. You're very kind. It's the candle. It's not Botox. People have, guys, you can ask me questions. People have asked me if I do Botox. If I did Botox, I wouldn't have half the problems I have on this falling face. No, on the hair, I do use a little blue shampoo every once in a while, because if you overdo it, it'll turn purple. You really will. And especially if you have thick hair and you don't quite rinse it all off, it starts getting like a little thing of purple there. That's about it. And I just try to use moisturizer, honestly, just whatever's at the drugstore, whatever my sister gives me. She's in the luxury business, so she often gives me Lancome and Chanel and things like that. But Honestly, I like some of the drugstore things, I really do. I've always liked even Avon's and New. I don't have an Avon lady right now, but I've always liked their stuff too. And I love makeup. I am they call me vain, I guess, because I put makeup, but I do. I did a little smoky eye today. Did you guys see that little thing on TikTok where and I hate the Kardashians, I really do, but it comes up and I think it was Kim told her mom, "Oh, don't you think that smoky eye is a little much for the daytime?" And her mother, Kim, says, "No, I'm going through a phase." So that's me too. Sometimes I want to do full on makeup and all month I haven't worn it. But thank you for the compliment. I really do appreciate it. No, Adrian's a doll. Really? Oh, Avon is fabulous skin products. They are actually, I read years ago in Vogue, the the most popular skin cream is Avon's Anew. That is the most popular selling cream. It's not even cheap anymore. It's expensive. It really is. Oh, you're so sweet, Adrian. I heard a great response from a reseller I watch. A response about what? Thank you, June, for reminding about the thumbs up. I sure appreciate it. All right, another thing. Google Google is not provenance. Google provenance is a fancy word, right? And I don't know if you guys listen to jewelry podcasts, but please go over to your favorite podcast provider and put in jewelry, and you will find Jewelry Journey. You will find a plethora of people that really know jewelry and really interview experts. That's how I found that guy from the Bakelite, and I just fell in love just from hearing him talk about Bakelite. But anyway, one thing they said was people fake provenance. Even things like Sotheby's and all of these big auction houses, they have checks and balances throughout the process because people fake antiques. Antique jewelry is the most highly fake jewelry you will ever find. People fake provenance. People make it up. You go to an antique store. Oh, did you know this was owned by Princess Diana's cousin? Did you know that this one belonged to a person that had it on a show and wore it over on, well, let me see what's the show. I haven't watched TV in forever. All in the Family back in the 70s. This was worn by Archie Bunker or something. They make it up. They make it up, or they Google something, and because Google has a few images, one is Ruby Lane but Ruby Lane doesn't really tell you where it comes from, right? Or one is from an art studio or a gallery. That doesn't mean that that particular piece came from that particular museum or that particular show or that particular person. Because believe it or not, art jewelry and studio jewelry is not one of a kind jewelry. I learned this through those podcasts. Believe me, I'm not that smart, but it's not. Rebajes, the famous, I think he's Argentinian or Bolivian or something, very famous in the 50s, 60s for his studio art jewelry. I actually sold one at that wonderful benefit auction that Alamo did for Makeup Zombie, and I've had several. And it's an art piece. He made it by hand, but a few people liked it, so he made a few more. It's not a one of a kind piece. And you will find that with a lot of big names, a lot of big names. Carl O. Fredensberg, also not one of a kind. They find a popular piece, they'll make a few because they're selling. It's such a delusion for someone to say, because I saw it on Google, that is provenance. No, ma'am, that's not provenance. That's not. Let me see the certificate. Let me see the estate sale receipt where that person actually knows the deceased or knows that prominent personality that had that piece. If you bought Elizabeth Taylor's estate from Sotheby's or whatnot, that's something else. But if you just Googled something and then saw something very similar from an art studio somewhere in Timbuktu, please don't tell me that you have provenance. Please don't tell me that because I'm not that stupid. I'm really not that stupid. Hi, Lynn. How are you? Juliana's always unsigned. Oh, that's another thing. Let's go to unsigned. Yes, Juliana's always unsigned. I know that. Okay. And it's known for being unsigned. Then there's the ones that are saying, oh, it's an unsigned da 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 da. Well, I don't know if you watched that other lady. She used to come out a few years ago. I love her. What's her name? Ruby. I forget. I know I linked her thing, and she sells on Ruby Lane, and she's a real expert as well. And she was doing a wonderful array of brooches. I think was it Barton and something. And anyway, she said it's not a very expensive line of costume jewelry in the realm of Shriner or whatever, but she really likes it. But she showed a brooch, and I was like, oh my god, I had that brooch. Maybe I still have it. I know I have it. And it was the dancing couple. I think it was called the Grand Hotel, that particular line. And I was already getting so excited. And she said, please, guys, if you are collecting this, know that it is highly imitated, highly, highly imitated. Look for a signature. So, taking me back to, please don't tell me it's an unsigned this because you saw one, in a Google or you saw one in a show. No, you don't have to do that. You don't have to make up stories. I don't know if it's because you want to elevate yourself or is it because you want a little bit more money for it. I don't know, but I think it's unnecessary. Okay, art jewelry, not one of a kind. Studio jewelry, not always. Okay, not always one of a kind. Just because it's art or studio jewelry does not make it one of a kind. Keep that in mind. That's another thing that I think is very unethical for people to I believe I mean, that's kind of the assumption I had till I heard that podcast, but, to perpetuate it when maybe you don't know it's true or not, don't say it. It was a belt, I regret the price, 45. Ruby Lane podcast. No, just go to your favorite podcasts provider. I just do the one that came on my iPhone and put in jewelry. I listen to Jewelry Journey. Her podcasts are very short, but they're very, very, um succinct and very, very detailed. And she interviews experts and artists and so forth, collectors, real collectors, like the guy who wrote the book on the Bakelite. She interviewed him, and that's when I fell in love with Bakelite and decided I needed to have some. So I didn't have any. God knows how many pieces of Bakelite I ignored. And I remember having one. I'm looking in the book and I'm seeing one that I know I had it. It was kind of like a big, fat, chunky cuff and it had little rhinestones. And I remember buying it in an antique store when I was like 19 years old. And I think I sold it at a garage sale or gave it away because it had a missing rhinestone. After I had worn it for several years, one of the rhinestones got lost. But I regret it. I'm sure it was Bakelite now that I think about it. I even had an old Bakelite, like a little, I don't know what they're called, where it basically sits on your dresser and you can put your powder in it. And it had like all kinds of compartments. It looked like a little mini dresser, like those old 40s deco, not 40s, but 20s deco style dressers. But it was like to hold beauty products. I know that was Bakelite and I didn't even know it. I just liked it because it was old. Let me see. Jason sent you photos of him being handed the vegetable Bakelite necklace from Sally Loeb. That's proof. Absolutely. That's proof. And I saw it. He left that comment in my short, I believe. And I had just gotten the book. So I went and looked at it. And it was right there. It was the little fruit one, right? Oh, those things are cute too. But I don't know. I'm just obsessed with the bangles right now. And my beautiful friend Vanessa sent me that Bakelite from your show, Tanya, the little dress clips. And I was going to wear it today, but then I wanted to wear some big earrings. So, because I thought it would be nice to put it right here and give it kind of a sweetheart neckline, the little dress clips. Those are so cute. I think they're kind of a root beer color. I'm not sure. Yeah. So that was another thing. What was the other one I wanted to talk about? Multiple listings. Multiple listings. This would have been something I would have thought about when I first started. But I don't know. I just kind of feel like karma is as karma does, right? And about last year, I started trying to show my daughter how to resell, and she sells on Depop and other things. I've tried to get her on eBay, but she really has her own way of doing things. She has learned by using the right lighting. She's learned, how to position something that where there's no clutter, and especially clothing. So she has done well. But I had given her a bunch of athletic wear. I cleaned out I bought out my nephew's closet, and he was a sneakerhead and jerseys and all kinds of sports stuff. So I gave her a few things, and she listed it, and she said someone made an offer, and she was excited, and she took it. And the item could have sold for about $150. It was an original Chicago Bulls from back in the glory days of Jordan and everything. And I think she took an offer of, I don't remember, $50 or maybe less. And I was like, oh my gosh, you should have told me. You should have told me before you accepted it. I would have declined the offer. But I gave her access to my eBay. That's another reason why I don't share it. And she says, oh, it's too late. I took it. So, I could have canceled it. I could have not sent it. I could have said it was an accident. But my heart of hearts told me I can't do that. That's just not right. It doesn't matter if I took a loss. I took a loss. And a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people multi-list in different platforms, and sometimes they have it a little bit higher here. A lot of people price a little higher on Posh because of that extra fee. So if it sells on another, cheaper platform for even more money or whatever, or somehow or another, there's so many platforms now, right? You decide, well, I'm going to go with the highest sale and just tell this person who bought it outright, put it in the cart and paid it, and you're canceling it because you made, $100 more or $50 more. People do that. People do it all day long. Selective outrage, right? But I can't do that. I can't do that. I could not live with myself to do that. I would rather, like I said, I think karma is as karma does, in my opinion. Oh, thank you, Lynn. I cut the bangs in the bathroom the other night on a whim. I was hoping I didn't cut my eyelashes off because I can barely see, and I have to use this huge magnified mirror. I'm drinking this wine. I forgot the name of it. It says Texas on it. And it tastes like grape juice. I don't really like sweet wine. I like it real dry, and I like cab. But this one, it could be dangerous. I'm glad that's just my first sip, and that's going to be my I probably won't even finish that. This is a big glass. But it actually goes down quite nice. Quite nice. And it says Cabernet, I believe, but it's so sweet. I've never had one like that. Literally, it tastes like a little bit like Welch's. Hmm. All right. Any other thoughts? Any other questions? You guys can ask questions too if you want. We've been on 58 minutes. We can stay on a little bit longer. I think I talked about eBay. Oh, the Presidium. I had a Presidium for about 2 months before it broke, and it was a gift because I refused to buy one. But they can be very useful, very helpful. They can tell you what's glass, what's not glass. But please, if it goes to ruby, remind people. I know because I know, but not all of your buyers know that thing does not tell you if it's a man-made ruby or if it's a natural ruby or if it's a man-made emerald, etc. Emerald, sapphire, whatever, it won't tell you that. It'll just go to corundum or that section, or it won't tell you. And many sellers, oh, let me check with the Presidium. Oh, there it goes. It's a ruby. Oh my gosh, look how big it is. Let's do it for $40. Yeah. First of all, selling me a ruby for $40, my red flags go up. Okay. Or if it's crystal clear and you don't see any kind of a personality in that stone, just remind your buyers that your Presidium does not tell you if it's a natural ruby or not. And please don't tell me that a natural ruby and a man-made ruby are still valuable. or in any way, similar, shape, or form, because they're not. If in fact they were, they wouldn't call them rare. Jewelry is expensive because it's rare, it's genuine, and it's pretty. And if it's not all those three, then it's not what I think I'm getting. And I think you should explain that. I honestly do. That I just keep reminding people, because not everybody, that's another thing. If you're in an auction, yes, you have a community. Okay. You have a community that comes every week. They love you 5 times a week, whatever many times a week you come on YouTube to sell. But there are some new people in there. There are some new people strolling in. You're deceiving them. You're blowing smoke in their eyes if you don't remind them that that presidium does not tell you if it's a natural ruby or a man-made ruby. And a man-made ruby and a natural ruby are not one and the same. A natural ruby is rare. A man-made ruby is not. It doesn't matter if the chemical elements are the same. It doesn't matter. It's not the natural ruby. It's not the natural gemstone. And if you fail to tell people that and you just get all giddy and excited because it went to ruby, that's deception. To me, that's deception. It may be neglectful, but it's deception. It's just like pointing out a flaw. If there's a missing rhinestone, and I mean, I've even had where I was sold a brooch and they paid for it and everything, and then when they watched the rerun, they noticed there was a missing stone, and I hadn't noticed it. Of course, she got an immediate refund. She wasn't going to, be happy with a thing like that. But people, if you know there's a flaw, you disclose it. If you know you tested it for a genuine stone and it hit, remind people. The Presidium tells you clearly on the label, it will not tell you the difference between a man-made stone and a natural stone. And a natural stone is a lot more expensive than a man-made stone. A lot more expensive because it's rare, because it's beautiful. 1 and 1 equals 2, right? Simple. Even department stores were targeted and rated for failing to disclose that their stones were heat treated. That used to just be an industry, what do you call it, unknown law or whatever, unknown fact, unwritten fact, that they're heat treated, but you have to disclose it to the customer. Now the feds stepped in and said you have to disclose it to the customer. Now they keep a sign right there at Macy's, right there at all the jewelry stores that sell those type of stones, because we're not talking, high jewelry. We're talking just medium range fine jewelry. They have to put it on their counters now, because you're deceiving them if you don't tell them that. And, if someone has to remind you of that with a law, then that's what it has to be. But we don't have that here on YouTube, here on Facebook. We don't have that. We have to depend on a reputable seller. We have to depend on that seller to not only be reputable and honest, but to not just ride on her halo effect. And I really hope you understand what I mean by halo effect. We all have them. Those of us who are on social media sometimes get a halo effect. And what that means is that people want to buy from you because they see you on the little screen or the big screen or wherever they see you. And they want a little bit of like a little artifact of you, or because you're selling it. So don't take advantage of that. Don't take advantage of that halo effect by not disclosing that you didn't test it, that you don't know if it's sterling or German silver, which is an alloy and a fancy hyperbole term that means absolutely nothing, just that it's an alloy. Don't ride on that wave of a halo. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all. That's another thing last thing I wanted to talk about was the halo effect. And I really took this to heart when I saw this guy. I was trying to learn how to do whatnot. I watched a lot of videos on whatnot, and one of them came out, why I don't do whatnot. This is a guy that's got like 3 million subscribers, tons of subscribers. He's a gamer, of course. That's where the money is in gaming, right? And he said, I decided not to sell on whatnot anymore because I was tired. My halo effect was getting tight. And what he meant by that was that people were buying from him because they loved him. He was their idol on YouTube. And these are young kids too, they're highly impressionable. And he said, so people were buying my games that I was buying at GameStop or wherever, or eBay for $10, and that I could rebuy for $10, but they were buying them from me, and they were bidding them up to $200, $100, because they wanted a piece of me. And I couldn't live with that anymore, he said. So I will be selling like I always do on eBay and other places, and that's the way I'll be selling. So that made me think about a lot of things, a lot of things. Including how you can be deceived by the halo effect, how you can ride the halo effect, and how you can decide to be honest with your customers. Don't take advantage of them. I'm not saying, like I said in the beginning, if you bought something for a dime and it's bidding for to 80, I'm not saying that, because that's a different kind of thing. That's something that was collectible. Somebody really wanted it. It was rare. It's from Japan, so forth. There's a difference between that and me selling you a mediocre sterling chain and starting it at 50, which is already high, $48, $50. And everybody's like, oh, we love you so much. Oh, you're so sweet. Oh my gosh, we love your videos. Da, 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 da. I got to have that because you held it. Okay. Well, at least tell us all the truth about it, okay? And we're okay. We're okay about it. But it does exist, the halo effect. All right, let me just read a couple of more. And yeah, I think that was all of my notes. Again, I'll show off my notes. I always keep them right here. And I always think, I should just be able to get it from the top of my head. But no, I will forget. And I wanted to touch on each one of these because I thought they were important. And also, my friend Vanessa had told me that about me one time. She said, "I think a lot of people like to buy from you because they're you, and because it's your stuff." And I said, "Oh, I don't think so." And she said, "No, I think there's a little bit about that, but the halo effect can wear off. It really can. People have gotten used to seeing me on Facebook for 3 years already, and so forth. But it was different from this kid, right? Who knew that his stuff was not valuable, not intrinsically, not uh, theoretically in any way other than people wanted to possess a piece of him, and he couldn't do it anymore. I have to admire someone like that. You don't get that kind of ethical thinking, psychological stance from young people as often as, well, I feel. I could be wrong, and maybe that's being a little stereotypical, because there are a lot of good kids out there, a lot of good young people out there, and my hat's off to them. Let me take a look at your comments real quick. Hi, Jackie Wire. How are you? We're at 74 people. I don't know how many people came and went. I hope everyone who came in put the thumbs up. If you're on your way out, put the thumbs up. Leave us a comment. Tonight, when you're watching this on the replay, let us know what you think. I may get some hate. I may get some disagreements, agreements. That's what the heart to heart is all about. Someone said something about me the other day in my comment. I think they were commenting on something else. They were talking about an accident that happened between a policeman and something else. I don't know if y'all saw that comment. And I was like, ma'am, I'm sorry, but I think you commented on the wrong channel, because I was just showing jewelry. I was not showing any footage of some distressed woman being arrested. So I don't know where that came from. But anyway, no, it's all good. It's all good in the neighborhood. Um Thank you, Lynn. Very nice of you to say. Disreputable jewelers who replace red stones with fake stones. Yes. And sometimes, again, contact your seller, because I've had that happen to from a wonderful seller here. And I honestly think it was an accident, because we buy items that are used. It might have been something that she did not see. One of the turquoise stones was actually a bead, just a plain old bead. And when I was washing my hands, and I never take off my rings when I wash my hands, I usually, unless it's a big old ring like this, maybe. But the color came right off of it, and I was like, oh my gosh! And I love this ring, and it was sterling, and all the other stones were were genuine. They were turquoise, but I had already talked about how much I love that ring on a video because I was wearing it. It was like the ring of the day. So I felt no recourse and I just didn't want to say anything and I just swallowed it, and I knew in my heart of hearts that she had sold me everything else that was perfectly fine. Again, we all make mistakes. So I just swallowed it. And, I knew if I hadn't said anything complimenting it, I would have felt better about telling her, look, this is what happened and showing her the picture and she would have returned it. I know that. So just keep that in mind too, that people do make mistakes. Contact your seller. Don't ever hesitate to contact me if I ever sell you anything. And because I don't like to get something I didn't expect, and I don't want you to get something you didn't expect. If you made a pendant out of an earring and you told me it was a pendant and I bought it, I'm not happy. I was not happy with that purchase. If the bangle that I bought from you, the clamper does not close and you didn't tell me and I got it and it didn't close, I was not happy. That's not cool, because you can tell when a pendant has been turned from an earring to a pendant. You can see it. If it was done rudimentary at home, and you can tell when you put the bangle, if it's flapping, it's not going to stay closed. You should have told me. All right. I think that is it. With that, I bid you farewell. I bid you a good night. I'm going to do a couple of more recorded videos for you. I hope you've enjoyed them. I hope you learned something tonight. If anything, check out the jewelry podcast. They're wonderful to go to sleep to. They're better than videos because the video has to have, well, now I can actually, with the premium, I can turn off the light and the video will keep playing too. And I can even open windows. I love that. But do check out those podcasts. You really learn a lot. Do not trust someone just because they have the halo effect or just because they have 1 million subscribers or because they have 5,000 subscribers or whatever. Okay. Do your research. Google, but Google is not provenance. Remember that too. All right. I love you guys so much. I love you for being here, giving me a thumbs up, subscribing, and coming back soon. Bye-bye.